Boozed and Confused is a comedy and weird topic podcast. Adult language may be used, probably by me. While our episode topics may be educational in nature, we are not responsible if your children start dropping the F-bomb to their kindergarten class. Listener discretion is advised. Hello, everybody.
Hi.
I'm Carolanne.
I'm
Stop. I'm
Matt.
going to edit that out.
Don't edit it out. Keep it in. It's perfect. I'm Matt.
You are a joke killer. And you know what? The first time I did it, it wasn't even a joke. I was just confused.
Oh, and that leads us to the title, Boozed and Confused. Here we are.
This is Boozed and Confused. If you're a new listener, welcome. If you are a returning listener,
what are you still doing here?
Why are you still here? Before we get into a couple housekeeping items and introducing our topic today, what are you drinking?
It's a Revolution Brewing, Chicago local, one of my favorites. It's called the Tropic Hero. It's from the Hero Team pack. It's pretty good. It's an IPA. I know they're different ones, but I don't think I have the palate to tell them apart yet. But this one's kind of hazy.
Yet. Okay.
Yet.
Some housekeeping items. So usually our topics are a little bit more in-depth, intense, strange, kind of make you say, what the fuck?
Oh,
we're not doing that today. I think it's been a really long week, election-wise, for a lot of people.
What happened?
And we want to leave it just light for everybody. So we're not doing anything super crazy today, but we have a topic that we think you are still going to really enjoy. It's still on brand for us, I would say, but it's just not as disturbing as maybe like the sex cult from last week, or I don't know.
I don't even know. I kind of black out all the times we record.
Oh, great. Thanks for being a loyal listener to our own podcast. All right. So a couple housekeeping items before Matt gets the chance to make the same joke about already vacuuming before starting the podcast. So we are Boozed and Confused, and we are on all of your favorite social media platforms, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And if you are not super into the social media idea, that's totally cool. We can be found on Gmail if you want to send us an email. So we are boozedandconfusedpodcast@gmail.com. We would love if you would send us any like spooky stories that you have, any weird encounters, maybe aliens, cryptids, anything.
Mothman.
Yeah, Mothman. I mean, if you're, in the Midwest or out east, I'd love to hear your Mothman encounters.
Is he nice? Does he smell nice? I think he smells pretty nice.
Ooh.
Rich mahogany.
Mothman strikes me probably as someone who doesn't know when to stop spraying Axe, actually.
We had a talk about this earlier, and it just keeps coming up again. Look, we've all been in high school. We've all gotten a little sweaty and forgotten the deodorant. Look, you just want to smell good. You just want to smell good for you and all your boys.
Yeah, I think I can personally attest to never having doused myself in Axe. I don't know. Bath and Body Works spray, probably another story, but
I remember going to what was it called? Like Abercrombie and Fitch, and you could smell that store from like the Auntie Anne's.
Well, it's their marketing.
You smell it.
Yeah, exactly.
They had a cologne called Bod.
Sure.
It was literally a glass bottle with like a man's abs on it.
All right. Well, other housekeeping items. So if you like the pod and you tune in every week, we drop new episodes every Monday. For your pleasure. For I think a lot of people maybe don't have commutes anymore if you're working from home. But If you like the pod and you want to support us, the best way that you could do so is leave us a review. We would be so appreciative, especially if you listen on Apple Podcast. It's the best way that you could support us and really any podcast that you listen to. Your reviews help other people find the podcast that you so love. So it would be appreciated.
Thanks.
Okay. And now that we're done with housekeeping items, let's get to today's topic.
And before the cat meows.
And, today is one of those days where I just really don't have the patience for an hour and a half of editing. So you might hear some cat meows here and there in the background because I just don't have the energy to edit it out right now.
It's like 7:45 p.m. and it feels like midnight because it gets dark at 5. And I'm not a farmer, and I don't think I should have to follow these rules.
All right. Without further ado,
we dive into the world of potential and possible ways aliens could have been contributing to our world progress. So let's get into it.
Before we dive into this topic, I will say this is a list from listverse.com written by Chris Ushi?
Sorry, Chris.
I'm sorry, Chris. But we will link this in the show notes, so if you are interested and you want to read about it yourself, you can do so after the pod.
Yeah. I am of team I want to believe. And one of my favorite shows to watch late at night, 2 p.m., 3 a.m., doesn't matter really when.
Late at night, 2 p.m.
Like sometimes nap time hits you hard.
Yeah.
It's those midday 2 p.m. nap time hits.
Mm-hmm.
Look, it's totally acceptable in parts of the world. I don't know why we can't do it in this house. Look, I just really like Ancient Aliens, and quite frankly, I think it'd be really cool if all the pyramids in Egypt just one day just launch into space.
All right, so that's the topic. We're going to end it there. We're going to wrap it up.
And let me tell you about freeze-dried ice cream from the planetarium.
Mm-hmm.
Delicious. Gets in your teeth, though, real bad.
All right, so number 10, Stanton Friedman. Stanton Friedman is a retired nuclear physicist who is certain that aliens are among us. According to him, there is more than enough proof to suggest that extraterrestrials have visited Earth and are currently among its inhabitants. So where are they? Humans are indeed very judgmental, but that shouldn't be cause for aliens to be shy. That's not the reason, according to Friedman. Governments and security agencies around the world are doing their best to hide the aliens' presence from the public. Quote, there would be mass panic and distress, Friedman says. Apparently, our leaders think we're not mentally and emotionally prepared to be introduced to some of their different-looking friends. Give us some football and a six-pack and we will hit it off.
Try me. I'm so ready for the aliens.
I have to say, this is actually my dad's theory as well, is that our governments are already aware of extraterrestrials, but because of the mass panic it would cause, they just don't really release that to anybody.
No. The mass panic would come because of Will Smith. And we're back to him again.
Oh my God, we're back to
Will Smith.
Everything comes back to Will Smith.
6 degrees of Will Smith.
Wait, this should be a Will Smith podcast, actually.
This is episode 1 of the Will Smith pod. Welcome to the show. Get jiggy with it.
Yeah, we're rebranding, so
it's what all the cool pods are doing these days.
Fresh Prince of Will Smith. That doesn't really work. We'll work on the name.
It's a work in progress. Maybe next week we'll kind of be that rebrand. No, I 100% believe this. I think the fact that people think that us being the only intelligent life in the universe is laughable with just how freaking huge it is. I mean, I think I just heard the other day on the Daily Show, they found water on the moon.
Mm-hmm.
That's dope. You can launch like rocket ships from the moon now because you got water.
Well, this brings me back to that episode we did about conspiracy theories, and you talked about the Great Filter.
Oh,
And
no.
that is half of that episode is also very lighthearted. I did silly and stupid conspiracy theories. So if you want something else that's lighthearted, go check out that episode. But don't listen to the second half where Matt talks about the Great Filter, which is incredibly depressing and slightly terrifying.
There's nothing depressing about existential dread. All right?
Yeah,
It has to be
okay.
funny. No,
Yeah.
no. It has to be funny because that's the joke.
Yeah.
That's the joke.
Yeah.
No. You could walk to any guy in the street and be like, "You think there's aliens?" No. Well, actually, yes, because the government's hiding it. What's in Area 51?
Who is this man on the street that you're having this conversation with? Is it my dad?
Do you want a name?
No, I don't.
I can give you a name.
No, I don't want a name.
It's my guy
Okay.
on the corner. All right. Well, let's go to number 9. This is giant underground bases.
This is what?
Giant? Okay, look. This is called Boozed and Confused. Why can't I be both? Language is hard sometimes. English is a stupid language. I'm going to get into this. This is joint underground bases. We're keeping this. You are shaming me. So this is actually something that I wanted to do with many of my neighbors and also my brother. A joint basement. Sherry Schreiner writes an article that lists a number of underground bases where she claims humans work with actual aliens. She claims that she has important sources like the CIA, people who worked in these bases, and UFO researchers. She also describes these bases, which are situated in different states across the U.S. The descriptions are unusually detailed for a theory lacking a reasonable amount of sources, which some would argue makes her list very credible. Apparently, humans and aliens have no problem working with each other, according to Schreiner, and they have been doing so under very high security. Again, this is like one of those, like, hey, did you hear about this? Yeah, this is actually what I think. Like, how do you explain things like Wi-Fi or airplanes or microwavable Hot Pockets?
Well, the Hot Pockets thing, I feel like...
Made by the devil.
Well, yeah. I mean, has anyone ever actually heated up a Hot Pocket to where it's an even internal temperature?
It's like ice on the first bite, and on the third bite, you have lost all taste buds because you've burnt everything to a third degree.
Yeah, and then you just can't taste the rest of it. So,
which is why it's made by the devil. It's like that Rick and Morty episode where...
Oh, sorry. Actually, I don't have a high enough IQ to watch that show. So if you could dumb that down for me like I'm 5, that would be great.
Right. So there's this cartoon called Rick and Morty.
Uh-huh.
Also, I think, informed by aliens. It kind of explains how things actually are.
Okay.
You know, like multiverse stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Just really like kindergarten alien stuff.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's all I got. It's an episode of Rick and Morty.
Great. Okay. Well, I think it's interesting. I mean, I feel like my dad wrote this article, actually. My dad is maybe Chris Yush.
There's
Yushi.
no. There's no Mothman on this. He would always find a way to get Mothman
Everything
in here.
is about Mothman. But no, I mean, there's a lot of things, like if you look throughout the history of human progress technologically, there's like thousands of years of just the most basic human technology. And then if you look at the last 100 years, it's like, wait a second. Let's take a step back. Like, how did this happen?
I don't know. I think the entire argument for this episode is people are pretty smart. Like, there's more technology in my cell phone than there was in the rocket that got to the moon. You know?
That's some shit.
Am I saying?
That is some shit. You know what? And when I was in 4th grade and I was learning math and they told me that I'd never have a calculator in my pocket and that's why I needed to learn long division. Yeah. well, guess who looks stupid now? It's still me because I don't know long division, but at least I have a calculator that does.
I just drew a lot of pictures in 7th grade, and my math teacher told my parents in an interview that I was, like really into drawing and not really into math.
Yeah, I'm not great at math.
I only cried a few times in grade school learning math.
Yeah, if you ask my dad was the one to try to teach me math. He's a real smart guy, but not the best teacher when it comes to math. And a lot of tears at the dining room table trying to understand my timetables, you know?
It's the American pastime.
Yeah.
Believing in aliens and also crying at the dinner table because you can't figure out what 7 divided by 2 is.
It's not easy, you know, I'll say. All right, going down the list to number 8. The famous Area 51 has been rumored to be a place where the United States government helps hide alien life. At first, the U.S. did not acknowledge its existence. That, however, didn't stop people from becoming more curious and invested in the case. After photographs of the base had become available, the CIA finally admitted that Area 51 does exist in 2013. Was it really that recent?
The most recent thing I remember involving Area 51 is the Naruto run raid.
No. Okay. No. Although they disclosed that bit of information, they didn't answer the most important question that people were asking each other for some time, refusing to make any comments on extraterrestrial life at the base. In 2017, Secure Team 10, a group of conspiracy theorists or realists, released what they believed is a leaked video of UFO tests at Area 51. The test site has become very well known for its mysteries. If people were right to believe that there was a secret base, what are the chances that they're right about what is being hidden in the base as well? So I am perplexed by Area 51, and I love all of like the History Channel shows of people who are trying to get close to Area 51, and then it's always like some super sketchy dude in like a Ford F-150 who
like
drives
a trench
up.
coat guy.
He's like, you can't be around here. Yeah, I mean that's some top-notch security for sure.
You shouldn't go down that road. Get out of here, you hear?
You sure about that path?
I wouldn't go down that path if I was yous.
Oh, God. I'm really doing a disservice to the people that protect that base. But, yeah, I feel like there's no way that there's not... I mean, here's the other theory, if we'll just, indulge me for a second. Because Area 51 is now known to the public, what about, like, Area 52? Area 53?
Nah, you've done it.
They probably moved everything, assuming decades ago, once Area 51 was actually discovered, or, thought to be discovered by the general public, moved everything from Area 51 to another base, so that in the event that people did Naruto run to Area 51 and storm the base, they wouldn't really find anything.
It's probably a giant hangar full of, like, dog paintings by George W. Bush.
That's actually his art gallery.
I was telling Cheney the other day,
Oh my gosh.
Why hasn't anyone come to my shows yet?
Oh, poor guy. Oh, and he doesn't even know that people just get stopped at the dirt paths.
He doesn't know.
He doesn't. Oh, poor guy.
It's like Al Gore, like, don't go down there. I'm super serial.
Oh my gosh.
No, but like on the other hand, it's possibly just a normal base. And they're like, okay, cool. We're just going to run with this. Like, what's better than, for a government if the people believe that there's something more that they just can't crack? It's like, yeah, totally. Yeah, we totally have this here, but we're not telling you. You can't come to my birthday party.
I mean, yeah, like what if they just leak information about Area 51 to distract from what we should actually be looking at?
Which is what?
Well, I don't know. That I don't know. Probably Walt Disney's Frozen Head.
which is why they have the films Frozen and then Frozen on Ice. They had to add that extra show, the ice skating show, Walt Disney Frozen on Ice.
Yeah.
So that...
Yeah, just in the, search rankings when people would search.
You got to throw off all the truth searchers. Speaking of governments, though, I think we should move on.
Yeah.
I think we should move on.
Yeah.
This is with our comrades over in Russia.
Ooh, I'm glad that you are doing this one because I'm looking at some of these names and I am not hopeful for my own pronunciations.
Joke's on you. I've been speaking Russian for about 15 years.
Okay, great.
Joke's on you. I have a great friend who lives in Russia. I miss him dearly. We occasionally chat on Skype, but it's nighttime here. It's daytime there.
And it's in English, so you don't actually speak Russian.
I just thought I understood.
Yeah.
Isn't that how it works? Everything just sounds like English once you understand it?
Yep.
Well, this is in reference to aliens actually paying respects to one of their Russian comrades. Russian politician Kirsan Ilyumzhinov claims that he had a pretty random experience. He said way back on September 18th in 1997 that aliens actually paid him a visit at his apartment. Like, hey,
hello.
buddy!
Hello, what's us?
But then they actually ended up abducting him.
God, that's so unfortunate.
Gotta get on our ship. They take him to his ship, and according to ABC News, Kirsan claims to have had telepathically communicated with these visitors because of a lack of oxygen. Don't waste your breath. We'll just put it in your brain. The story has lent credibility not only because his driver, minister, and assistant verified that he kind of randomly just vanished, but also because the Russian government believes him. In fact, they were worried that he might have shared classified information with the aliens that could potentially pose danger to Russia.
Whoopsies.
And because of that, President Medvedev had him questioned in 2010 to find out what his quick chat with his unusual pals were about. What did you tell them? What did you tell them?
Oh, God. I have to imagine that that's probably like the reaction that you have after a really bad night of drinking and you kind of wake up the next morning with the realization you don't really remember a lot from the night before. Just maybe a couple like scattered conversations here and there, but you're not sure what you actually told people.
No, I'm not even there. I'm like, this is the most Russian response possible. Not the fact like, oh, this guy might not be so good to have on our team. It's like, no, what did you tell them? Not even saying like, no, this is impossible. You had your buddies pick you up for a little alien joyride. What did you tell them about our secrets?
I don't think I would enjoy this at all.
But if aliens are telepathic, like this story claims to be, can't they just like tune in to you and just like pop into your brain and be like, oh, that was a terrible memory from third grade?
God. Wow, is he crying trying to learn math with his dad at the dinner table?
You were locked in the elevator for how long?
Oh, gosh.
I don't know. Very Russian story here. Very believable. Mostly because of how the government responded.
Continuing the Russian theme.
My favorite kind.
Move on to number 6. The Dmitry Medvedev disclosure. Medvedev?
It's Medvedev. We've been crushing the pronunciations.
No, not we, because I've been keeping my mouth shut with the Russian names. So, any Russians that listen to this, I am so sorry. I have terrible pronunciation.
I can call our buddy Jeff for some pronunciation. He's our producer.
He got promoted?
Yes, from best pal to podcast producer.
Wow, that sounds like an inside job, actually.
Well,
we do live in Chicago.
Apples fall from the tree.
All right, so Dmitry Medvedev, who is now Russia's prime minister, has tipped Russian television 7
times.
several times by giving them rushed answers and comments regarding important politics. Alien life on Earth is a topic that Medvedev has completely been open about, or at least so far.
And then you believe and then you can do anything.
And you can do anything. Oh my gosh. All right. All right. Alien life on Earth is a topic that Medvedev has been completely open about, or at least far more so than other political figures have ever been. He first leaked information regarding aliens when he was asked by a Russian reporter about the topic, and without realizing that cameras and his mic were still on, he openly admitted that aliens lived among humans and worked with them.
Dope.
Matt and I just made eye contact because now I'm not even sure who I'm married to. As seen in the above video, so again, we'll link the article we're reading from in the show notes so you can watch the video yourself. But he wouldn't reveal how many are in Russia because to do so may cause panic.
Anything more than 7 is alarming.
Yeah. So he also apparently warned President Obama that if the United States doesn't reveal the truth about extraterrestrial life on Earth, then Russia would. His declarations have been among the most concerning and exciting about extraterrestrial life on Earth, and the most important political position that he held makes his words even more credible.
This just warms my heart.
What part of that is heartwarming?
Do you remember when conspiracy realists were mainly concerned with aliens?
I mean, I feel like you can be concerned about a lot of things for conspiracy.
Who turns the light off in my fridge when I close the door? Does the light even turn off? Like, I have pressed that little button thing, that little, like, lever contraption that when the door closes, you close it. It's supposed to turn off, but it's kind of like that light is both on and off at the same time. No, this warms my heart.
Well, I might do a little bit more digging into this. I feel like Russians and aliens could be a really interesting separate topic that we could go into.
I don't even need to do research. I'm just going to say what I think.
Yeah, I'm going to do absolutely no research into this topic, and I'm just going to make things up as I go. So
it's alternative news.
All right. What do we got next?
We're going to Canada.
Ooh, Canada.
Which is like the Russia of North America.
That is offensive.
You cut me off. No, it's climate-wise.
Oh,
Climate-wise.
yeah, okay, yeah. If we're
climate-wise.
Yeah, if we're going to talk about weather, sure.
Toronto sounds great.
Toronto's a lovely place.
I'm swear, we
It's
were
a little
this
Chicago.
close. We were this close to moving to Toronto.
Who's we?
Me and the cats.
You were just going to abandon me?
If things fell a certain way, yeah.
Was this about 3 minutes ago when we both questioned if the other was an alien?
It was a coin flip, really.
Great.
It was a coin flip. No, this goes to former Canadian Defense Minister Paul Hellyer. He stated that Earth has been visited by aliens many, many times. And according to him, the reason they've engaged with humans is their fear that humans and their wars could potentially affect the cosmos.
Oh.
It's like, hey, guys, please chill.
Like if you got a hurricane coming, don't try to nuke it because you're going to...
Get a nuclear hurricane.
Oh, okay.
It's just 2 + 2. Simple stuff. So Hellyer told RT that nuclear weapons are what worry aliens the most, and their activity on Earth has increased a lot over the last several decades. And similar to the Russian Prime Minister, given his former position, Hellyer is not a person whose words are meaningless. That makes his declarations also stronger.
That's really interesting. I think nuclear weapons scare the shit out of most people, as they should. But I never really thought about how aliens would view nuclear weapons.
What kind of technology do you think aliens would have? Like, are they like
probably peace, I'm guessing,
No,
to
no,
where
no,
they
no,
don't
no,
have
no.
nuclear weapons.
No, 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 no. I mean, like, what powers all their stuff? Do they have dinosaurs too?
They're probably smart enough to have evolved into I don't know, like solar, wind.
What if there's no wind? I mean, sun, I guess, like, stars are everywhere. I don't know. If the aliens can keep us from, like, nuking ourselves and potentially the cosmos, then dope. Please continue, carry on.
I mean, do you think they would have had to, if it's a concern, do you think it's after things like Hiroshima?
I'm thinking it's like if aliens can help us build pyramids, if aliens can get us to connect to dank memes from our phones on the toilet, why can't they stop us from using nukes? This is like good guy alien friend person.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I would hope so.
I mean, and then maybe we can finally join the Federation of Intergalactic Beings.
Yeah, I wouldn't put us that far ahead. I think probably compared to aliens, I think humans are maybe pretty dumb still.
Do aliens have Netflix?
No, well, maybe it's just ingrained in their minds already.
Do aliens call us aliens?
Yes.
That's all I needed to know.
Speaking of no, we're gonna kick it down to number 4 with Edward Snowden. Did you like that transition?
Never heard of them.
So I think Edward Snowden is probably very widely known these days. Everyone knows how Edward Snowden leaked classified information and exposed U.S. government efforts to surveil its own citizens. This created a lot of problems given the implications of privacy violations. However, few people know about the information that Snowden allegedly released concerning extraterrestrial life on Earth and how much world leaders know about it. Snowden supposedly leaked information that suggests the United States is directed by aliens referred to as, quote, tall whites, aka Nordics.
Oh, the Vikings.
According to the leak, this alien race is the same one that brought Nazis to power right before the start of World War II.
Oh.
Wow. All right, this got a little creepy. They've apparently controlled the United States since the end of the war. Part of the aliens' plan, as described by Russia's FSB spy agency, is the creation of a global surveillance system that will assist them in hiding from the public. This is what worries people the most, given the growth of surveillance technology in recent years. This information allegedly leaked by Snowden was published in Iran and Russia first, casting some doubt on its accuracy. However, it remains a potential sign of what the public doesn't know yet.
What's that phrase from Pulp Fiction? Like, there are known knowns, like things you know. Mm-hmm. There's known unknowns, things
Mm-hmm.
you don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's unknown unknowns.
Mm-hmm.
And then Samuel L. Jackson,
Yeah.
he shoots someone in the face.
Yeah. You don't know what you don't know. But it's interesting. It seems like a lot of these parts of the article, all roads lead to Russia.
Do I want the same aliens who backed the Nazis also back in the U.S.?
No.
I don't want to be the baddies.
I mean, what if they already have been?
Are we the baddies then?
Yeah, I would think so.
Oh.
Yeah, I would think so. I would think a lot of other countries would probably agree with that.
Oh, we're just two people with some cats.
Are we two people?
I don't think I'm an alien. What if there's some, like, Great Awakening? Like
that episode of Doctor Who?
Which episode was that?
There was an episode of Doctor Who where a ton of people were, like, activated by something, being controlled by something, and it was basically going to turn into, like, a mass suicide event, if you remember.
I love how light they keep things on Doctor Who.
Yeah, of course. I mean, it's a very real show.
I like the one with the adipose.
They're very cute.
The little fat guys.
Yeah, they're very cute.
And
I have a
then
lot in common.
And then that one where the girl got turned into a concrete slab.
Mm-hmm.
Who was also Moaning Myrtle in Harry Potter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, they just keep it in the family in English television.
I know there's a lot of, not strife, issue with Snowden being a leaker, the great leaker.
What he did just doesn't sound as cool when you call him a leaker. Like, it sounds like he was out drinking on Western Avenue and yeah.
Well, if peeing your pants makes you cool, consider him Miles Davis.
Yeah.
No, I actually would say that gives it some credibility. Why would he throw all that juicy info out into the world and then be like, also aliens are running the U.S.?
Also, this is just a simulation.
That one is actually believable. But how cool would it be if, like, Joe Biden were like, oh, I got an envelope. Fellas, what is this?
Oh, God.
And they go, read it. And it's like an alien, like, drawing, like, hi.
You know what? All right, hold up here. If I'm going to, we don't really get political on this podcast.
Nor will we.
But thinking about the last 4 years.
Oh.
And everything that Trump has said on Twitter that just, like, I think doesn't go through any sort of filter. There's either two possibilities here. Aliens exist, and they all opted just not to tell Trump because it would be on Twitter within his first week of the presidency, or aliens don't exist, and therefore Trump never tweeted about it.
Today I learned.
Oh, God. Yeah.
No, I will not get political on this platform. In fact, I'm pretty sure we started this to avoid spending more time on social media looking at the poop storm that has been the last few months.
Yeah. Yeah. The podcast is great, but everything outside of the podcast.
The cat eating the in his little snack box. Let's get going. Let's get moving on.
All right.
I love Edward Snowden. I could talk for literally minutes about him.
Just a couple.
Would require lots of research time.
And then the conversation's done.
But I would love to dive into some Snowden stuff. But I feel like everyone's doing it. But I still don't think it would be a bad thing to just explore the things that he's been leaking.
Such a leaker.
Big pee-pee.
All right, what is next on the list here?
We're gonna keep talking about the tall white aliens. What are they called? The
Nordics. Yeah, the Nordics.
Well, I guess they've paid some visits to some of the presidents, but very formal, I assume. The tall white aliens that allegedly control the policies of the United States established their control directly after World War II. President Eisenhower is rumored to have had connections with extraterrestrial life during his presidency. Unlike Kirsan Ilyumzhinov, Eisenhower didn't have a single encounter with unusual visitors. Instead, he had allegedly had a very serious relationship with the aliens. He met them 3 different times, and one of these meetings was witnessed. A former U.S. government consultant claims that Eisenhower met with aliens not once, but on 3 different occasions. Timothy Good spoke on Frank Skinner's Opinionated about these meetings. The meetings was scheduled telepathically and took place in New Mexico. This theory was also supported by the information allegedly leaked by Edward Snowden, which suggests that the tall whites that control the U.S. were the ones who met with Eisenhower. We go all the way back to February 20th of 1954. Dwight Eisenhower, the president, was on vacation in Palm Springs, California, and he made a kind of unexpected deviation from the trip. One of the arguments was he had to go to the dentist.
That's convenient.
Look, out of all of our vacations, I have had to go to the dentist for 20% of them. Whenever we're going on vacation, I call up the guy. I'm like, hey, something's going to happen on this trip. I'm going to need you real quick. There was actually a belief that he had died. And then I want to say like after 2 minutes after the AP was like, hey, the president just died on vacation. They're like, oh, no, he's just going to the dentist.
Oh, just kidding.
Sorry. Oh, no, but the AP's never wrong, right?
Well,
Right?
Usually.
Right. No, it was a golf trip. And he took a deviation, and allegedly he had a visit with those tall white alien guys, the Nordics, they call them. It was a completely telepathic conversation. Pretty much, he was in one chair, one of the Nordics were in the other, and they're just sitting there, just having a brainwave conversation,
just vibing.
Pretty much said the Nordics offered to share their superior technology and their spiritual wisdom with the president if he would agree to eliminate America's nuclear weapons program.
Interesting.
History would show that he probably said, nah,
I
I'm
don't
good.
think so.
Russia. They were afraid that we might blow up some of our nuclear technology. And apparently that does something to time and space, and it impacts on extraterrestrial races on other planets. So pretty much the president's like, I'm going to get back to hole 10. Peace, aliens. We're not going to give up our nukes.
Good try, though.
So yeah, he said no, and we still have a ton of nukes and no cool alien tech.
Thanks, Dwight.
Thanks, Ike. I guess he had 2 more meetings, one including the Greys, the gray aliens, not the tall white ones, the big eyeball ones. But I think we're good to move on. I think we're good to go. What's our next one? This is number 2, right? Oh, we're going to
down to number 2.
Going to Tonto.
All right. This is the Tonto National Forest. The U.S. Department of Agriculture has released data and information about potential extraterrestrial activity in Arizona's Tonto National Forest. There are supposedly records of a caller who claims to have witnessed the construction of a secret base in which alien activity takes place. The person claimed to have seen UFOs and planes and suggested that humans and aliens are working together there. The credibility of this person is unknown, though he claims to be healthy.
I don't know what kind of teamwork humans and aliens can do. If they're so advanced and can come from so far away, like they've already done everything and infinity more than what we've done.
So maybe all of this like bullshit that's pretty common in the day-to-day is really just a distraction from what's actually happening.
So you call season 2 of The Mandalorian bullshit?
Well, I wouldn't call that bullshit.
You made me swear.
I mean in the political realm.
My mom heard this.
Well, I'm not going to edit it out, so I'm not going to edit that out either.
It's time that people know what we have to go through. The cats, mainly just the one cat, Apollo, he knows when we're recording, and he becomes the loudest bad boy.
Yeah.
No, keep it going. No, we've revealed what's behind the curtain. We're keeping the meows.
This is what's behind door number 2.
Whenever you hear a weird pause in the pod.
No, there are no weird pauses in the pod.
Because we have a great editor.
Because the editor is fantastic, but the editor is too tired to do this today.
Shout out to the editor.
The editor, the social media manager, a lot of other jobs.
The wife.
The producer. All right.
Yeah, I just feel like if aliens and humans were a team project, humans are the guy who never come to the group meetings, who never do any of the work, who show up to the presentation for the class and just kind of like hit the button to progress the PowerPoint, and they get an A.
Yep.
Though I'm not sure what grade I would give the human race right now.
It's up in the air. It's questionable.
I'd give it like, you're humans.
Yep. Well, it's like getting points for writing your name correctly.
It's tough sometimes. Okay, let's get to the last one. This one gets kind of heavy. I don't know. I mean, I'm just reading the title. Do aliens believe in God?
I don't know. It's interesting because if you think about it from the perspective of like Battlestar Galactica, and you think of Cylons, who are not necessarily aliens, but they're more AI, they do have a god that they believe in.
For a sci-fi show, that show was extraordinarily dogmatic.
I mean, it has its purposes.
I remember when you made me sit down and watch BSG.
Yeah, everyone needs to sit down and watch BSG.
I thought it was a bad Star Wars ripoff.
Nope.
And I couldn't have been wrong. I would actually almost say I prefer BSG to Star Wars.
All right. Well, thanks so much for joining us today.
We're getting a divorce.
Of the podcast. I'm about to go call a divorce lawyer.
I've already got one on hot dial. Was it hot?
Hot dial?
Speed dial? Speed
you
dial?
You better call me on your hot dial.
All right, now we're actually getting a divorce. No, look. I'm not saying I prefer BSG to Star Wars. Star Wars is, if not my favorite story of all time, it's way up there. BSG is just art. It's art. Do aliens believe in God? Amongst the numerous pieces of information released by WikiLeaks, there is an email from ex-astronaut Edgar Mitchell telling U.S. politician John Podesta that the Pope knows about the existence of extraterrestrial life on Earth. Mitchell wrote in this email to Podesta that aliens are willing to help humanity improve their life conditions and share zero-point energy with them. The ex-spaceman was seeking to contact Podesta to talk about these classified matters. Another thing that Mitchell mentioned in this email is the fact that there is a space treaty that is being discussed with countries like Russia and China. The email contains direct references to extraterrestrial life and was sent to a very important figure in American politics. All the information released by whistleblowers like Edward Snowden or political figures like Medvedev or Hellier point to something more than just conspiracy theories. They point towards governments that clearly owe us more specific answers regarding extraterrestrial life among us. They've tried to keep things quiet, but that plan clearly isn't working well for them. But on the other hand, I also feel like people coming out of the walls with ideas is also kind of helping them.
Yeah, I would say so.
Oh, that's just a crazy person?
So.
No. Conspiracy realist, conspiracy cat, meowing right now. He's staying on the pod. He's our guest speaker.
Yeah, he's today's guest. Maybe he's the alien. This makes a lot more sense now.
You know, but I actually remember reading something vaguely in passing, nothing I actually put a lot of attention into, that the Pope, the current Pope, did make comment about aliens and God and it being compatible.
Well, I feel like, I mean, if you think about it from the sense of like what's written in the Bible, it doesn't necessarily say, like, I mean, the Bible just captures a small point in time, you know?
If you look on a universal scale, yes. On like a civilization scale, it's kind of big. But it all comes back to the beginning. Ancient Aliens is all about pulling the Bible into explaining ancient aliens. All right, and I've been seeing all these YouTube videos because I've been going down this like month-long rabbit hole about the actual appearance of angels, like, you know, like the seraphim and the cherubim, and how they're drawn in like classic paintings as like white, long-haired, winged people, and then the actual description of them in the Bible being like almost Lovecraftian, like indescribable entities.
Interesting.
It's all compatible. Okay. So aliens, I want to believe. I do believe.
Oh, I absolutely believe.
But not in a crazy way.
Yeah, no. No. What's a crazy way?
I don't know. Who's that crazy podcaster guy? Angry old white guy. Not old. Angry middle-aged white guy who always yells about the frogs.
Oh, Alex Jones.
Alex Jones, come face me, coward.
Alex Jones, I don't think is actually as crazy as he seems. I think he's found himself to take on this persona, and that's the image he has to sell himself as.
It's a character, much like we are characters on our pod.
No, this is pretty raw, pretty real, especially today.
Now that the cats are in the
now
now
that
the cats make the edits.
Literally out of the bag about the cat who now sits on the bar next to us, staring into our souls.
He's like, fools.
And now he very sleepy.
He is a very sleepy boy. Now he a very cleany boy. Doing a heckin' clean.
Well, I think that's kind of it for what we have today. I think there's some really good topics that we could maybe do little spin-offs for into their own separate episodes.
I think I've left this episode with more questions than I do answers.
Yeah, I have a lot of questions from this, actually.
Specifically, how was Eisenhower's golf game that day he went to see the aliens? Was it better or worse after seeing them? Like, did having that telepathy affect his brain and make him golf better?
Right.
Because if he does, hit me up, aliens. I am absolutely terrible at golf, and I have to impress some friends.
Yeah.
Because golf is what really matters in life.
Of course.
And if anything I've learned, it's that.
All right. So I think that wraps up today's episode, and I have a lot of questions and a lot of things that I'm going to go down a rabbit hole on after I finish editing and posting this episode.
I don't know. I have a lot of like really in-depth research to do for building my Pokemon sword team to crush my enemies.
Yeah, of course. So thank you so much again for tuning in for this week's episode. We hope you enjoyed it, and we hope it was a good little reprieve, if you will, from the day-to-day craziness of the news cycle that the last week has been. So we will see you next Monday. Don't forget, we are on all of your favorite social media platforms if you want to hang out with us. We are on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. We post some pretty dank memes and some good content sometimes. And if you like the pod and you want to support us, we would be so grateful if you would leave us a review. And I think I forgot to mention this earlier, but I've mentioned it every single week since like week maybe number 3. If you leave us a review on any of your platforms of choice, and you take a screenshot and you send it to us, we will send you your very own Boozed and Confused stickers for free. No money.
Oh, well, sign me up. I better go on Instagram or iTunes or figure out how iTunes even works, and I'm going to leave a review, and then maybe you can mail me a sticker.
This sounds like review fraud, actually, and I don't want any part of that. Thank you so much, though.
We only count legal ratings.
And with that wraps up this week's episode.
We're not political, I swear.
Thank you so much for joining us this week, and we will see you next week.
Okay, that sounds good. Bye.
Okay, bye.